Boyd's storyline in this episode was perfect to show how Frumville breaks his characters. He's juggling multiple crises at one, Randall, and a tense community, while also battling his own inner demons. This episode closed with a bang, and boy does it leave us with more questions than answers. As always, we got Dale driven by desperation, ignoring all warnings and diving headfirst into that faraway tree.
You guys can thank me later.
It's a moment that's been building up since the town meeting, showing us how far hope and fear can push the residents. So what happened next? That's where things get seriously messed up. Dale doesn't end up in some magical escape journey. Instead, he's transported back into the town, inside a wall of the pool. It's like the town decided to play a twisted game of human Tetris. And Dale ending up in the pool is not just random, it's also Fromville showing its sense of irony at play. Why? Because you have to remember back in season 1 when Victor warned Ethan about the faraway trees.
You never know where you'll end up. It could be somewhere close, it could be somewhere far.
Well, it looks like Dale drew the short straw and got the close option, but with an intense twist. As Victor explained,
You're temperamental that way.
which means their unpredictable transportation to unknown locations, maybe even time. We don't have confirmation, but we know that Boyd ended up in the past, maybe. The bottle trees could be a repo of failed attempts at escaping, with each bottle marking a different destination, a different path, taken by someone hoping to find a way out. The numbers could show the order in which these attempts were made, or they might point to specific locations or timelines accessed through the faraway trees. This callback to Victor's warning is brilliant because it shows us that the rules of Frumville have not changed, they just gotten more intense. We actually have seen this in the past. We have seen how the faraway trees were used. Julie used one back in season 1 even, so we know sometimes they end up in the right place. But it's like Frumville is saying you want to use the trees to escape, fine, but we'll decide where you end up. I'm going to do a theory on this soon because there's a lot of proof that they're wormholes, maybe like the town is a dual town, maybe connecting to different realities or dimensions. This connection also validates Victor's knowledge about the town. It proves he was not just spinning tales, he really does understand how this place works.
I told you that it's not make-believe!
But he's focusing more on getting Jasper. In his room, we got like a map of them, so maybe the way to use them, the faraway trees are with numbers, so that's gonna be interesting to see this. So why bottle trees have numbers inside? What could they mean? Well, maybe let's begin with how they look. We have numbers placed inside bottles, hanging on trees by a thread. Really interesting. We also know that there's two, one near the lighthouse, another in the woods, which was found by Boyd and Sarah. Another thing is that we have seen numbers inside, 1864 and 2659. This one was found in the bottle by Boyd, and that number also shows up in Tabitha's dream, and also it shows up in the randomsmove.com website. Sure, there's different ways to see this. Number 1 is time capsules. Each number could show a specific year or time period containing information or memories from that time. It could be a code or a cipher. The numbers in bottles might be a part of a larger code, with the tree serving as a physical key or code book. There's this concept in computer science named 3 traversal. I'm gonna do that theory video and I'm gonna discuss this because it connects somehow. But they could also be a memory storage. Given Tabitha's connection to Miranda and her past, the numbers might be tied to specific memories or events.
Every bottle up there seems to have a slip of paper just like this.
You go one place, come out another.
It could be a navigation system in the context of quantum events, or maybe dimensional travel. These numbers could be waypoints, historical record, maybe they show different events in the story's universe or part of the world history like 1864. Now if the trees exist in different locations and times, the number bottles could be a way to send message across these boundaries, or the wormhole. We could see how that the entity controlling the town is some kind of dungeon master, a bored alien playing The Sims with humans or something. We cannot even begin to understand The way it manipulates time, space, and reality is really interesting. And those faraway trees and bottle trees, they could be the key to understanding how Frumville deals with the rules of physics. Maybe they're like cosmic subway stations, connecting different points in space-time. Because let's zoom in onto Jade and his obsession. But now with the numbers and the symbols, he might be onto something huge. Jay's been understanding the numbers and drawing that bottle tree like a man possessed. Well, in this case, drunk. What's gonna happen when he or Tabitha crack the code? Knowledge is power, but it's also dangerous. Understanding the answers might be the key to escaping it, or might unleash something even worse from what they're already dealing with.
It only looks like chaos until you understand the pattern.
One of the biggest significant moments, and that is the reunion between Victor and his father. It's one of those emotionally charged scenes in From. Imagine Victor, a man who has lived in Frumville since childhood, finally seeing his father again. His initial denial, his insistence that it's not possible, they showcase the psychological pain of all the experiences in this town. He's built a life in this nightmarish town, accepting the loss of his mom and sister and even his dad. But all of that is changed. The way Victor breaks down, I didn't know how to get home. It's heartbreaking. It reveals the guilt he's carried for all these years, the belief that he somehow failed his family. This one line shows the sense of loss and displacement that is in From. But also, this means that Victor wants to know more about what happened. I imagine all of this is to motivate Victor to actually find answers and understand more of the town. We got 3 storylines: Victor, Jade, and Tabitha. And we have to say that we love that lovely friendship between Sarah and Victor. Now, something that I've been thinking a lot, and is how the boy in white is not just some kid, we know that, but he's like Frumville Oracle or Guardian. Think about it. He's always one step ahead, knowing things that are impossible. In season 1, he had Victor dig those graves. At the time, it seemed random, but he was actually building up for the events in Colony House. That is not just seeing the future, that's just knowing exactly what's going to happen. Then in season 2, he tells Tabitha this is the only way, before throwing her out of the lighthouse. It seemed cruel, but look what happened. He escaped, and now Henry's in town. It's like he set up a chain of events, knowing exactly how it would play out. But here's my point. What if he knew Henry would come to Frumville? Maybe Tabitha's whole journey was just also a mean to bring Henry into the town. So yeah, this changed everything about how we see the boy in white. He's not just reacting to events, he's also orchestrating them in a way. But why? And this makes me think, what else has he set in motion that we have not even seen play out yet? What if the boy in white is taking different forms? But now going back to Dale, because Boy's reaction is key here. When he says, "I'm sorry Dale, I'm sorry this happened to you," you can see the weight of leadership crushing him. Is the understanding that no matter what he does, people are going to keep dying in horrible ways because their decisions are going to take them that route. Like Dale. Everyone who thought the trees might be an escape. And the final scene with Boyd, who's next, huh? Still want to go into the tree? Go ahead then. Who the F is next? That's not just anger, it's desperation. Is Boyd realizing that he cannot help or protect everyone, no matter how hard he tries. Even his conversation with Ellis about taking chances is significant. Boyd has played it safe, focusing on the survival of the many over the few. But now the possibility of escape hanging in front of them is starting to question his own judgment, wondering if his decisions are actually making things worse. And even his interaction with Acosta, the way he talks to her, is not just about fear or losing control. Acosta is showing a different way of doing things, challenge to his authority. He pushed her away because he cannot handle the idea that he might not have all the answers. The show has been really interesting, and I cannot wait to see this. Now, the Fatima storyline is starting to feel like they're dragging their feet a bit. It's classic From building tension without giving us the payoff just yet. Theory about the creature being saved for season 4. It makes a lot of sense from a storytelling perspective. Think about it. They're using this pregnancy to keep us on edge all season, but they're not gonna show us their full hand until we're hooked for another round. It's a smart move, really. By the end of the season, we could be invested in Fatima's situation that we'll be counting days until season 4, just to see what this baby turns out to be, if there's a baby inside or the monster. Even if we don't see the creature this season, I bet we're gonna get major clues about what it is, or a big reveal about its nature. Maybe some kind of horrifying ultrasound done or horrible actions he could do. Could provide some answers about it. I feel it's a little bit meh, but hey, I got a feeling they're setting us up for something huge. From is a show about being patient. It's all about the long game. They have a plan in store, in place, set in motion, but we as the audience, we have to enjoy every moment of it, including Fatima's storyline. So this is my additional breakdown and ending explain. I love this episode, just giving you my spoiler-free thoughts. Dale's decision were understandable. He wanted to escape. He's being one of the oldest residents, so interesting. But I will see you tomorrow for my episode 6 preview. I will also theory on the wormholes and how the trees are the navigation system for this town, how reincarnation is still possible. I'm going to explore more of that. Again, thank you so much for the support that you've been giving the channel. Really, really grateful. But grab your talisman. I will see you in the next video. My name is Christian from the Premiere, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.